Hey Capricorn, so this is the third time I'm attempting to do or start off your reading. I'm doing readings for Scorpio season to see what the themes are coming through for the different signs. It seems like something big is shifting in your space, Capricorn, some new revelation. This could be an ending of a relationship as well that has caused you to look at life from a different perspective, but it feels like a major shift. So let's see what's going on for you, Capricorn. It also feels like you are in the space of already looking at goals for the next year and planning, but also needing to ground your energy. Capricorn is what I'm feeling to tell you, and especially in Scorpio season. We can feel very ungrounded because the veil is extremely thin. There's no coincidence that Halloween happens in the Scorpio season. So let's see, Capricorn. King of Wands energy. So card of Leo, fixed energy. You could be dealing with a Leo. The bottom of the deck, juggling. So this is an energy of being in performance. You could be dealing with someone that likes to be in the limelight, especially with Leo energy. They love to be the center of attention and are always in performance. But this performance can't be sustained for very long. And what I feel is that whoever you've been dealing with, their mask has fallen away, or you've seen through the illusion, you've seen through the mask, you've seen through the performance, because you are not able to sustain. They were not able to sustain this energy for a very long time. It's a difficult energy to sustain. There's turbulent water, rocky ground. You can't continue to juggle, those two pentacles for infinity. That's for some of you. For the rest, what I'm getting is an energy of stepping into your, I don't know why this king again feels like a very charming, kind of manipulative king for me. Maybe this was also your energy, Capricorn, but it's moving away from this energy, whatever this is. It could be career as well. It's moving away from the energy of being or allowing yourself to be manipulated in any way. I'm getting fawn energy. The Tower. So something has happened here that has caused a major shift in your life. An unexpected moment. But it is a major arcana. And it is a card of Scorpio. And we are in Scorpio season. This card has been coming out. Came out for Sagittarius as well. So you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. But there's a breakup, a shake-up, a wake-up call happening here. But that only ever happens when the foundation that we are working with is unstable to begin with. Again, this energy, this has to fall at some point or the other. And what you are seeing is the reality of the situation right now, not the performance, not whatever it was for everybody else at a superficial level. It's what's really going on underneath the surface that's coming up for you. And it's your opportunity now to rebuild again with truth and alignment, and without performance energy, but in your own alignment and in standing in your truth. What happens is when we are not able to see this truth for ourselves, the universe will bring in an event or a person or something to happen. It's a shake-up. It literally brings you to your knees. And this has been the year of bringing us to our knees, Capricorn. It's a 9-year. Numerologically, that's the end of the cycle. It's a year of completion. It's a year of ending things. So something big, again, I feel is shifting in your space here. Something that could not be sustained. At the bottom of the deck, the Wounded Warrior. So this could have you feeling a little bit caught off guard is what I just heard. And being a little bit on the defensive, Capricorn, protecting your energy. But you are still resilient here and willing to move forward with this. What else for Capricorn? Please and thank you. Please and thank you for the sign of Capricorn. Yes, definitely the wheel is turning for you here, Capricorn. This is the big shift I was talking about. Card of Sagittarius, major arcana again. So you could be dealing with a Sag, you could be dealing with a Scorpio or a Leo. But card of Sagittarius, this is about exploration. It's a 10, which is the end of a cycle. It's also a 1 energy, which means, this is about you, Capricorn. This is about your exploration, your fulfillment, what your next step is going to be. How are you going to step into the energy of exploration in your world? It's a beautiful space to be in, especially following. And it's exactly what I was saying, is that when everything does come crumbling down, what it does do is give you the opportunity to build again. And you might be feeling like you've come back to the same point in the cycle, and the cycle is repeating itself, but we never come back to the same, we come back to the same point, but it's always with a different perspective. You see, her perspective now is not dragging her down. It's about looking forward and looking upwards. It's taking a chance, Capricorn, on your life again. It's taking a chance on life again. And there's an 8 energy in that dice, which is about prosperity. It's also about walking away. But I feel like whatever's coming in for you, you're going to be feeling, on top of the clouds when you've moved past this energy of disappointment, shadiness. The bottom of the deck, again, card of Sagittarius, the Knight of Wands energy. It's about passion, fire, impulsiveness, creativity, dropping the plan, forgetting about the plan for a little bit, Capricorn, and just going with the flow. Stepping a little bit into your impulsive energy, which is not that easy for a Capricorn to do. You like to be logical about things, about your approach to everything. But this is bringing in definitely a sign or an energy of excitement. This is good for you, Cappy. One more card for Capricorn, please, and thank you. The Empress. Oh my goodness. Every single reading I've done for you, today when I tried to do your reading, and also the past 2 readings, have had the Empress in the energy. And this is a card of Taurus. You could be dealing with a Taurus. It is the divine feminine energy, the 4 queens in 1. And it's about rebirthing. It's about manifesting something beautiful into your life again, Cappy. And with this energy, the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower, whatever is destroyed is reborn again. And that is the Scorpio energy. Scorpio symbolism moves from the scorpion, the hidden energy, to the eagle energy, to the phoenix rising. And in order for the phoenix to rise, something needs to fall, something needs to burn, something needs to die for there to be a new birth. The lotus flower as well is birthed from muddy waters. It's birthed from something that was painful and difficult and maybe confusing and ambiguous at times. But I feel like now you have your clarity, Capricorn. And it's about moving forward into this energy and allowing yourself to receive and no longer be, the giver. The Empress is about receiving energy. And I've been picking up, this energy of wanting, or the collective engaging, especially the divine feminine, with the energy of receiving. If you're not able to receive, you're actually blocking abundance in your space. And this is receiving on every single level, even a compliment, even love. And this is what you are allowing in your energy right now, Capricorn. The bottom of the deck, the card of Aquarius, wish fulfillment, balancing out emotions, looking at things from a higher perspective, and really following what your wish is here, looking at it from a global or a worldly perspective, rather, not global, a worldly perspective, because that's what Aquarian energy is. Why am I talking like that? Aquarian energy is very philanthropic. It's about the greater good, and you have gifts to bring forth to the greater good, Cappy. And that's what you're starting to see coming through for you now. I do also sense that many of you could also be remembering timelines where you had certain gifts that you are now coming into again. And this is what the Empress energy can help, is to receive this information, because your soul remembers what these gifts used to be. And it's about bringing it into your own emotional, energetic body. You know, from the universe, she's pouring into her body of water. So again, being able to receive from source, from the universe, into your own body, because we are part of source. And it's integrating that, but we have to be able to receive first in order to integrate it. So I hope that made sense for you, Capricorn. I'll be doing longer readings later on this week, but that was just the Scorpio check-in for today. All right, if it resonated, please leave a comment. If you'd like a personal reading, I'll leave my details in the description box as well. Okay, let's see for Aquarius, what is going on in Scorpio season. Aquarius, what is going on for you in Scorpio season? Six of Cups, so reminiscing, maybe going back in timelines, going back into the past. This could be about reminiscing about an old soul connection as well, Aquarius. But remembering childhood, I think integrating emotional lessons from childhood, or looking back at emotional experiences in childhood. At the bottom of the deck, card of reciprocity. Again, the image of children. So definitely going back to childhood here for some of you, and remembering, you know, the receiving and the giving, you know, that you experienced in childhood, and how that actually impacts how you are now able to give and receive. For a lot of you, it could be reparenting, you know, rewiring, going back and understanding the messaging or the experiences that have brought you to this point, Aquarius. I feel like you've hit an emotional watershed, which is causing you to go back for more information. And for some of you, that could mean going back to childhood experiences. If this is a connection, it could be a connection with someone that you miss, that you feel a deep soul connection to, but that you feel that there's a lack of reciprocity, you know, with this connection. So there could be some separation there, which is why the missing. That could resonate for some of you as well. What else for Aquarius? Queen of Wands energy, card of Aries. This is a very magnetic energy, and it's about your creation, Aquarius. So you might have reached a creative block, and this is what I feel the emotional watershed is. And this creative block has taken you deep, and it is Scorpio season, and that is usually what happens in Scorpio season, this water energy. It's taken you into emotions that you thought, you know, you had worked on or integrated, or that you didn't think was still there. Something is coming up for you again because of this block that you've hit. This was the watershed that I was picking up in your energy. This block in creativity, in bringing forth action. Maybe you have been feeling a little bit, I just saw a fire whose embers are going out. So a lack of fire energy, Aquarius. is what I'm sensing here, which is why the need to go back and look at what's going on. And yes, the devil energy. So card of Capricorn, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but the devil energy is about the things that keep us feeling stuck, feeling blocked, and feeling trapped. And I think this card came out in your last reading as well. But it's something that's keeping you from moving forward with your manifestations, Aquarius. And you are busy deep diving now. You're doing an emotional audit, a mental, physical, energetic audit to understand what are the things that are keeping you from moving forward. And you could also be journaling. And if you're not, journaling would really help to understand, okay, where are these blocks coming up? What are the situations? What happens during the day, moment by moment? And what do you observe in yourself when this is happening? What are the feelings associated with it? What are the fears? What are the desires? What are the hopes? And that can take you deeper into clues about, where this pain is actually coming from, where this log in your nervous system is emanating from, because it is like a nervous system memory that's happening right now. And in order to rewire it, we have to go back to the source of where it is coming from. Okay, what else for Aquarius? Wow, again, double Six of Cups energy. That's a repeating message. There's definitely something going on here for you with regards to your childhood experiences, Aquarius. I mean, just look at this energy. That's a confirmation now. Thank you, Spirit, from 2 different decks. Six of Cups, Six of Cups. It is about balance. I heard some of you could also be experiencing a loss. Maybe, difficulty in family relationships. The bottom of the deck of this deck is the card of self-deception. 7 of Swords energy. So what you previously used to run away from, Aquarius. And I think this came out for you in the last reading as well. So it's confirmation again, is you can no longer run from this emotion, because it is going to bring you to your knees until you shift it. And as we withhold, the more we withhold, the more it builds up to illuminate. You see how these crows are eventually screaming. It feels like an internal scream until you can no longer ignore it, Aquarius. And that's what's coming in for you, and you're finally shifting and actually doing this work. And I just heard audit. I heard like an audit of your experiences, especially your close relationships, not only romantic. What else for Aquarius here? Please and thank you. Only jumpers. Please and thank you. Feeling abandoned. So there could be a sense of abandonment here that you are working with, Aquarius, especially going back to childhood energy. Where growing up did you feel abandoned in any way, left out in the cold, maybe a sense of unworthiness, or having to beg for what it is that you wanted. And this can block our creativity, because if we still feel this energy, and we might think we've worked through it, but it comes up in interesting and different and new ways, especially as we step on, onto our path and into alignment. There's different experiences that can trigger this feeling for us again, and it comes in to heal. It comes in to heal us. And what it's asking is, where, in your life have you felt abandoned? What was the situation? What were you feeling in the situation? Is that your truth? Is the sense of unworthiness, is the sense that you need to perform, that you need to do extra in order to receive, is that a truth? Or is that coming from a programming and a limiting belief and a trauma or wounding that you have been unconsciously navigating life with? The bottom of this deck is the coming back into wholeness. I feel like in the context of this reading, The Two of Cups energy is about you integrating your masculine, your feminine. It also feels like mother, father, I just heard energy, integrating that, reparenting yourself with that energy, Aquarius, and allowing yourself to receive, the downloads, the messages, the insights that are coming through for you now as you go back and revisit, the things that are keeping you in this feeling of entrapment. And this is not, look at this, these two different energies. One is free and flowing and open, with open heart. The other is a sense of entrapment and heaviness and a burden. So that's what's coming through for you, Aquarius. I will be doing longer readings, but that's your check-in for Scorpio season. So I hope it resonated. If it did, please leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. And if you'd like a personal reading, my details are below. Okay, let's get into Pisces energy. Pisces, let's see what's going on for you this Scorpio season. I really struggle in Scorpio season, particularly this one. I am a Taurus sun, so directly opposite to Scorpio. Fixed energy, the fixed energies will feel it the most. So Aquarius, I did also miss that in your reading, if you're still listening, is that being a fixed sign, you are going to feel the Scorpio season quite intensely. And Pisces, you could also have strong Aquarian placements. Okay, I am getting a headache, Pisces. So this is what they're saying is crown chakra. So if you've been, opening your intuition up a lot lately, it's a message to ground your energy, to put your feet on the earth. I think this was in your last reading as well. And also you can cover your head. That does help. Just to close off that channel for a little bit. You can't have it open all the time. I know that, in between readings, I need to go and ground my energy. Otherwise, I feel like I'm floating in a different realm. Okay, for Pisces, please and thank you. Karmic cycles, Pisces, are coming to an end. The shadow side. This is a card of judgment. It's also the devil card in the traditional tarot, card of Capricorn. It's about the feelings that keep us feeling trapped in fear, in anxiety, the lower level energies. And as we go through our transformation, you can feel this energy very deeply because it's going deep within your own shadow and understanding what it is that's causing, any pain that you are experiencing. This is shifting for you, though, the bottom of this deck, the Wheel of Fortune, which is a card of Sagittarius, the end of a cycle. There's new beginnings happening or coming in here for you, Pisces, as you go through the shadow work. And it doesn't have to be done all at once because it is so intense. You will find that you'll have glimpses of moments where you go back and re-look at something from a different perspective, an experience, an interaction, a conversation. What else for Pisces? And then integrate, how that has influenced how you show up, how that has influenced, your truth about yourself, whether it is your truth or truth that you've adopted. And Pisces, you are like sponges, so you can adopt truths that are not yours necessarily unless you have very clear and healthy emotional boundaries. Okay, so let's see for Pisces, please and thank you. Only jumpers, please. Only jumpers. Page of Cups energy. So it is really about And it feels like childhood energy again. You could be, going into childhood relationships. Apologies. You could be reconciling with certain people, Pisces, maybe coming to the realization or realizations about your role or influence in certain relationships, and wanting to communicate that with, someone. This is all coming up for you right now. It's like an audit of your relationships. And I got a similar thing for Aquarius. Going back to revisit and relook at the role that you played. And even if you don't physically engage with the person or apologize, you can do this energetically. You can, write a letter and then burn it. That's one ritual. You can journal about it. You can, write something down and then bury it, or float it in water with a candle and meditate over it, because it's all energy and frequency, and that person or connection will definitely feel that at a soul level. So it's almost, like in AA, what I've noticed, like in movies, is you always, this part of the program where you go back to people whose lives you affected because of the addiction, and you apologize for, whatever you did at that time when you didn't know better. It's that kind of energy. Maybe that resonated specifically for someone. And at the bottom of the deck is conflict. So this does have to do with where you might have, experienced yourself self-sabotaging or creating conflict or trying to win out at all costs. But having this conflict surrounding you and kind of going back, I think you're entering a season of peace right now, Pisces, because of, the work, the healing work that you've been doing, and because the wheel is shifting for you. And because you're entering a season of peace, it's almost like you go back to the previous season just to catch up, just to see, what, if there's anything you've missed, are there any lessons you need to carry over, if there's anything you need to leave behind and resolve and tie up with a neat little bow. And you are replaying conflict for some reason. You're replaying, and this is Scorpio season acting up again. This is what Scorpio season does, is it brings up the unconscious. It brings up those things that are in the abyss that we don't necessarily dive down to go and look at, because it's way too deep and too intense, but you can't avoid it in this season. And especially in this year, the year of the 9, it's unavoidable. So it's almost like you're going back and laying down your swords with those people. Forgiveness is also what I just heard, especially with this energy, forgiveness. Even again, if you don't speak to the person physically, there's an energy of forgiveness coming through, because you don't want to take that through into your next cycle, Pisces. Any kind of emotional baggage, mental, physical, energetic baggage relating to experiences that no longer exist in this timeline. That's not something you want to carry forward. So it's going back and deciding what you will take and what you will leave behind is what I'm sensing. What else for Pisces? Yes, again, this 5 energy. This is 5 of Wands energy, but it's similar to the 5 of Swords energy. 5 of Wands is just intense competition, different opinions, everyone kind of fighting for the flame, fighting for the limelight. You could have been one of these people, stepping on everyone else to get to the top, not looking at different perspectives, only concerned with, delivering your own perspective about things. And this again is coming up for you to revisit and to see, what was your role in this kind of energy, and where didn't you work together at the bottom of this deck? Vision. So now, your wish is to move away from this kind of energy where it's competition. This could be a shift in career as well, where there's, a lot of toxic competition and a lot of backstabbing and a lot of, scrambling your way to the top. Whereas this energy is very, very different. This is about co-creation, healthy co-creation. This is about healthy sharing. This is about acknowledging each other's gifts and working together on a vision, and not wanting, neither of these three people are wanting to be at the top or take credit for any of this. They're creating a tapestry together. And when you are, creating, you cannot do it in isolation. Most of the time, you'll hit a point where you have to work with other people. You have to work with other energies in order to land your word into the environment. First it's a thought, and then it's a word, and it's spoken, and then it becomes a reality. It cannot become a reality, 9 times out of 10, without the help and support and the energy of other people in your space, but the right energy as well. So leaving behind, any energies that may have not been there to serve you, but only to take from you, and moving towards energy and co-creating a vision with people that are on or in alignment with where you want to go, Pisces, and in alignment with the energy you want to work with, so that you can birth something beautiful into this world. That's what's coming in for you, Pisces. Last card for Pisces, jumpers only. Wow, jumpers only, but this card of Scorpio, your fellow water sign, the death card. Big transformation happening here, rebirth and transformation. I'm only taking jumpers, please and thank you. Oh, that definitely jumped. Victorious, Pisces, card of Leo. So you are going to be seen and recognized, and you are going to come out victorious in this healing. It's going to move you into a cycle where you feel acknowledged for your effort, where you feel seen, but not necessarily from external, because you see these 6 wands or 5 wands that are, saluting him coming back here from battle. This is a soldier coming back from battle. You can't see the people holding these wands, so it's not necessarily about external validation at all, Pisces. For you, you've gotten to the point where you are able to validate yourself. And it no longer matters, what the opinions are of others, which is why it's easier to move away from toxic energy, to move away from energy that holds us back. It's because we no longer need their validation. And the moment you realize that is the moment healing happens, and you can then move away on your own terms and with your own boundaries. And this is the card of victory here. So I do feel like, Pisces, you are going to be victorious in your healing journey, and definitely birthing something new into this new cycle. At the bottom of the deck, wow, the 10 of Pentacles, which is the ultimate abundance in the material world, in the physical world. And this is what you are manifesting. And this abundance, it doesn't have to be wealth. It doesn't have to be the big castle and the fancy car. In that way, it can also be how you find abundance within yourself. The joyful moments, the relationships, the connections, that make you feel seen and make you feel rich in your life. That is what you're being victorious about, Pisces. That is amazing. So if that resonated, please hit a like, comment, share, subscribe. If you'd like a personal reading, my details are in the description box, and sending you so much love as we survive the Scorpio season and thrive in the Scorpio season. Beautiful transformations happening for all the zodiacs. Sending you all so much love. Until next time.